You ready?
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
uh, so tell
Action.
me the story about the burning bush.
All right. Well, the burning bush was
Where did this take place, first of all?
this took place at our house over
In
on
Florida.
in Florida, yeah, on Dolphin Street, and you guys were really super little at the time, and we carried you into the house, and
Were we sleeping?
yeah, you were sleeping. It was a long day.
Mm-hmm.
We would work at June Park, this church, and we were working like 60 hours at the church constantly. And Joe was, was led by God, and he was into the Word, and he was helping people, and it was a long day. We got up real early, got you guys dressed, went to the church, we cleaned the church, and I think after us, I think Mr. Diff started cleaning the church, but we were doing it, vacuuming and cleaning, getting the rooms all straightened up, and it would save the church money, so we were doing that, and we would be greeting people who come to the church and say, oh, we're just from Georgia. We have no money. Do you think you could help us out? We need gas money. Sure, sure. Dad would say, and give them some money of his own money that he made, and on they went. And then we later on the church decided to go with other groups, to basically get together with other churches and become as and then there was CETA, Christ is the answer, and we would say you go over there. All the churches would say go over there. We pull our money over, and they're helping you with room and board and food and etc.
Oh, so CETA took care of people?
Yeah, Christ is the answer, and they call it CETA for short. So then after that, because we were getting taken advantage of, they would go from one church, and we were getting conned. Some of the preachers were getting together and finding out, oh, I just gave that person money too, and they got money off of me. Oh, they really didn't need that money; they were conning us. So we really wanted to reach the people who really needed it, And so then everyone came up with this idea, we're just going to pull our money with CETA. So that's what a certain percentage of our money went to CETA, and a certain percentage went to the Southern Baptist, whatever.
Southern Baptist Convention.
And and missionaries and stuff like that. So long story short, we got, we're tired. We came home. We're drugging you guys on our backs. We weren't wanting to go to bed so badly, So we're going in, and as I'm going around the car, I hear something off to the left of me. It's like a noise. I go, what is that? I'll investigate later. I'm gonna get you guys into bed. Lay you guys in the bed. You guys, they didn't want a story. That's how tired you guys were. Run you ragged. They had a monkey bars and everything, and the swing set out back, and you guys were happy. And you even helped us, vacuum. We were teaching you. So anyway, long story short, we get done with whatever, and I go out the back door, and I come around to the side of the house, and I hear this like crackling. It started off real, just crackling. I'm going, what the heck is that? I'm looking in, and it's dark. I can't see anything. It's really dark. There's no moon. I don't think that I can remember. It was dark, and we're trying to look into. Well, it was me first. I was looking into the bushes, and I could hear it sound like. The more I listened to it, it sounded like a burning fire. I'm going, oh my God! And I'm looking for a light because fire has light, and there was no light whatsoever. And it started getting louder and louder. I run inside the house. I said, Joe, I think there's a fire over somewhere nearby. And he, what makes you think there's a fire? I can hear it. I don't smell it. I can hear it. And he goes, okay. So then he goes, I'll go out with you. So he came out back, and he goes, Ava, I don't hear anything. I go, no, Joe. I said, listen. I said, I'm not lying to you. I don't lie to you. Listen. So he's like, and it started off with him really slow, and then he goes, and you could see his face going like, all the expressions on his face, and he's like, then he starts going toward the woods, and he's going into the woods, and he's looking around, So you can ask that, have Dad tell you his side of the story. So he's looking in the woods, and at first I thought he was just, pretending, when he says, I don't hear anything, and then I thought, well, maybe he's just humoring me, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then, with all the expressions on his face, he goes, what the hell? And he goes, I hear it. No, seriously, I hear it. He's going, I hear it. And I'm going, what is it? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, it sounds like a fire. And I said, yeah, like something burning. Like the lot is burning next door. But there's no fire. We don't see it. We can hear it. It's getting louder. It's getting louder, he said. I said, yeah, I can hear it. It's getting louder. And him and I are getting scared. So I said, I'm going to call the fire department. He goes, no, don't do that. They'll think we're crazy. I said, I don't care. There's something going on here I can't explain. And we both hear it. It's not one person. It's two people, right? And I said, I give him a chance. I said, right? And he goes, no, I hear it too. And he goes, he didn't want to admit it, but he goes, yeah, I hear it too. So I called the fire department. The fire department comes, comes up in front of our house. It's real bright, like a fire should be. It's really bright and all lit up. Two guys, real young guys, I wouldn't say young. Two guys get out and they come up the walkway. They go, where's the fire? And we're going, over here. We're pointing to the woods, and they go, and they're looking at us. We could see they're looking at us. Seriously, we're hearing a large crackling of a fire, but we don't see it. And he goes, what? You know that? And then he started getting onto us about calling in and making a fake fire thing, and you're going to get in trouble. And me and Joe goes, I'm sorry, but we hear it. You don't hear that? So he asked the guys, do you not hear that? Do you not hear that? And he goes, sir, we don't hear anything. And he looked at Joe, and Joe's going, he turns around and looks at me and goes, and I go, I know, I hear it too. You and I both hear it. I said, okay, we hear it. Evidently you don't. We're sorry. But something weird is going on here, and we just can't explain it. But you can't hear it, and we can. And so we apologized. They left. We felt stupid, but we could still hear it. We went inside the house, and Joe would go outside and check every once in a while. And we were scared to go to sleep that night. So you guys were asleep. You got up that morning. We had to go to church. Church. So we got up to go to church for Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Because we had to go to church again, but we were going constantly. So we had to go to church. We got you guys dressed. We got you back in the car. This is when we were doing like 60 hours a week almost at the church. Got back in the church to go to regular church, where you sit down and everyone comes to church and you pray and not vacuuming or anything. We come back, and we get back there, and then it's like, okay, we got you there, and we're sitting there. And all of a sudden, we get, I think it was either a call or they came up to the house. And he goes, this was it was a fireman, came to the house, or called us, one or the other, I can't remember which. And he goes, madam, we need to talk to you. We need to talk to you. You need to come down and talk to us. Or something, when you want to talk to me. So he asked us, basically, did you guys start the fire? I said, what? You guys were little. I go, what are you talking about? They were dressed and in the car that morning. So evidently what happened, this is what happened. The fire department there's this big long canal. It goes straight down, you can see our house. So the guy's, who's having his coffee or whatever, and he's joking about, hey, we got called yesterday on the idiots down, the crazy people down at the end of the street, saying there's a fire, and he had his cup in his hand, and he looked, there's a fire. There's a fire there. And then he put his cup down, and they all ran over to our house, and they got the fire before it started. It was just a small fire. And they got it before it would have taken up the whole next lot, he said. So he wanted to know if you guys had started the fire. I said, sir, we weren't even in the area. We were like, I don't know, about 20 miles away in church. Do you have, people that will, vouch for it? Yeah. Yes, they'll vouch for us. And and he goes, okay. So you could see all the emotions in this guy's face. Well, some other youngster must have started it in the area. I go, okay. It wasn't our kids. You ruled us out. We have alibis. And he goes, well, it's just very coincidental that you called us the night before this all happened. I go, yes, it is, isn't it? And I looked at him. Isn't it? God probably saved us from getting a fire. We just got back from church. Do you believe in God? And that type of deal, that look, So then he was like, so off he went. So then we didn't hear anything about that later on, but it was kind of cute. But then afterwards, we had a thing going on with the fire department. They would come out with their cup of coffee, and one of the guys had watched Good Morning Vietnam, and he would come out, Good Morning Vietnam, and I was out back with my cup of coffee. I like that. Good Morning Vietnam. So every morning we'd get our cup of coffee, and he would be yelling it. I yell back. Well, we started doing this, and then one day I said, the hell with Vietnam. Good morning, Palm Bay. I went back to him. So then he goes, you could hear the next morning, Good morning, Palm Bay. And we started doing that. Because and then after that, then we had to quit because I got a call. He said that the, the neighbors made a complaint, so we had to quit. I said, really? That was such a good thing too. He goes, yeah, it was. So
So,
that's one story.
that's a good story.
Yeah.
So tell me about the time at Grandma's.
You're gonna share.
Grandma's.
You're gonna share that with me too.
Yeah, you want a little piece of fudge?
Yeah, Tracy made that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every story you tell, you get a little piece of fudge.
Oh, look, I get paid with the.
Yeah.
That's really hash. No, I'm just kidding.
I have to pay people. So, I want to know the story about the aliens behind Grandma's house.
It probably is just a dream, okay, that I have over and over because I have dreams that are very real.
Well, I remember you telling me when I was really young. You told me this story when I was really young, and then you brought it up one more time when I was older.
I'm surprised I told you.
Yeah. So tell me.
I have, yeah. So anyway, okay. And this.
How old were you?
I was young. Tommy Case was living next door. Before
Tommy Case?
Yeah, before he went into the witness protection program. And so, long story short.
Tommy Case went into the witness protection program?
Yeah, because he was selling drugs. And so was Timmy. I dropped him before he got into drugs, and then basically there was a murder with the state attorney's office. Brother was a fireman. No long story. That's another one where they double bagged him and all this stuff, and it's a long story.
Okay.
Long story.
So
they turned in. I think it was really Johnny that turned over on that, and then he went to jail. And he served a little bit of time, and then came back out. But I don't, that's another, anyway. Back behind the house. Behind
Grandma's house.
Behind Grandma's house.
This is in West Melbourne.
And in where Grandma lives, yeah. And then you used to have like way off in the back, I think Maples was actually running live marijuana back then. And he got in trouble for that too. We used to run through it, and play in it and didn't know what it was back there. Oh, it smells so good back here, and we'd be energetic, and which I'm allergic to it when it's in the smoke form, but when it's in the real form, I'm not, because I used to run through it when I was little. And Tommy and all of them used to run, Randy.
So like wild marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah.
But it's mostly pine trees, and there's
yeah, it's palmettos.
Back there's a train.
Yeah, there's a train. Yeah, there's a train. Well, we were in this bedroom off to the right, and there was slats on the, they have these
the
jealousy windows, yeah. And we had a mirror across from the jealousy windows. And back then, there wasn't so much brush. And the train, when it came down the tracks, would come in and would make it like, from what he told me, the alien told me, he said it was, it shot. It was so bright, the way it came down, the light shot into somehow the shot came into the window, and it hit off the window, the jealousy windows, and as the train was doing this, it looked like those things on the ships when they get signaled. Mm-hmm. So actually, he told us that they already had communication with people here on Earth through Navy, through these things, these big things that would, I don't know, that's what he told me anyway. So long story short, the first time
not long. So
I met him. Okay.
You spoke to Smith. How did this start?
I was laying in bed, and me and Tina kept having dreams about red eyes in the windows, red eyes in the windows, red eyes in the windows. I would wake up, and she would wake up, and we would have the same dream, which was kind of freaky and coincidental, and it started freaking us out that we were having the same dream. And I said, "What's happening in the dream?" And she goes, "Well, I keep seeing these red eyes, and it's scaring me." I said, "The red eyes won't hurt you. They're here to help you. They're not going to hurt you." And she goes, and then the next night, she kept seeing them, but she felt better. And then one night, it was in the daytime. It was in the daytime. Me and Tommy and Timmy, and we're all late, almost dusk, and we're out back, and we're playing this game that we play, and he mows the lawn and stuff, and makes a maze, and we have to stay in the places where you cut the grass. And was it Tommy or Timmy gave me these, or Dad had some glasses that were, you could see your reflection in them, yourself in them.
Like you can see your own eyes?
No, it's like polarized. You can see them. They're polarized or something. He was a pilot.
Oh, like so
Yeah,
when other people are looking at you, they can see themselves.
they can
like
see
mirror
themselves.
glasses.
Yeah, like a mirror. And so, anyway, these things came out of the bushes, right?
While you were playing.
While we were playing, and freaked us out.
What time of day was this?
It was almost toward the end of the day. It was dusk, where Mom usually calls us in to stop playing. And so we're going out back, and he goes, and it scares Timmy, and Timmy runs into the house. And Tommy turns around because I'm hiding behind this red Corvair that Mom had, and I'm watching them. That's where I was hiding because of
what did they look like?
They had a suit on.
What color?
I don't know. I think it was silver. I can't remember that much. I can remember they had a thing here, and a slinky silver thing, and they were thin, and tall, taller than me. And I had to look up,
Any facial?
Yeah. Well, first he used something on Tommy, and Tommy went into it it was a light, some sort of thing, some light, and he was like a deer in a headlight look, and he just stopped, and I got scared, and I was going to run for it, and he caught me, and I tried to get up, and he shot me, and I was like, I call it shot me. He got me, got Tommy, and then Timmy came back out, and he got Timmy, I think, and then we're all, and the next thing I know, I remember I'm standing in front of this thing, right, and I come out of this trance, and I can hear them talking, but they're not moving their mouths. They have little mouths, really look, hardly a slit, and their eyes are big, and they have, like, you can see blue veins, these right through here, you could see, and it's like their skin is like really, really thin, paper thin, and their nose is like really not tight. That's all I can explain. And the guy is talking to each other, and one of the guys is looking at my glasses. I come out of it, and I grab the thing that shines it, and I'm backing off trying to figure out what to do with it. And I shot one of them, and it was the leader that was in front of me, and he froze. And I was like, Tommy, wake up. Tommy, wake up. I'm trying to get him up, I'm scared. I'm scared shitless. And then the other guy is like, he's talking to me. And I'm not even saying anything, but he's talking to me. And I'm thinking, all I have to do is think, and he's knowing what I'm saying. And I says, basically, we're not here to hurt you. We got grounded here. We saw a signal for help, which is the flashing thing. And I figured out later. And then he goes, someone signals us for help. Our spaceship had, something happened to it. And they almost ended up in the water. And they're scared to death of salt water. They thought, the river, they were scared of salt water. Don't understand that. But the water they thought that they were going to land on was going to be, And for some reason, water is a big thing on this planet. And they're like, it's like gold to them. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. And so later on, I told him that he didn't have to come to my house to get the water. I went out back and I said, he asked me, because I gave him, he wanted ionized water. I don't know what that was back then when I was little. So I was like, I asked Mom, what is ionized water? She's sitting there cooking dinner. What is ionized water? Because I didn't want to tell her, because they told us not to tell them. It's okay. So I went in and I go, what is that? She goes, well, and she's, Mom, I don't understand a word you're saying, Mom. Don't understand a word. Is it water? Yeah. Is it like distilled water? Well, so I went and got just a jug of water, the milk jug, got milk, I got some water for them. And I gave it to them, and then it killed one of them. They were trying to do something with their spaceship, and something happened, and the guy died. And they were all pissed at me.
So did they take the water back into the woods, or were they just?
Oh yeah, they took the water back with them. They went into.
You went with them?
No, I didn't go with them. I was scared to death of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you kidding? I wasn't going to go in the woods and then disappear. I'm not that stupid. So here's your water. And then he says, okay. So they got in there, got their water. The guy blew up. They were mad at me. They came later on. They usually come at
So
night.
how do you know the guy blew up?
Because he told me. He told me.
So they come back and
they come back and they told me they're pissed. And there's one guy that's on my side. One guy out of all of them, and he likes me a lot. And they look at us. They look at us like dogs, like we look at dogs. We're not. Oh, you're a pretty dog. Oh, nice doggy. That type deal. That's how we are to them. We're animals. And so this one guy who's on my side, she didn't know what she was doing. She's just a small thing, She didn't know what she was. He was on my side. So I was like, yeah, you're on my side, So they wanted me to pay for it, and I was scared. And
was Timmy and Tommy with you again?
No, Timmy and Tommy weren't with me.
So you're just in the backyard again?
Yeah. They don't even remember anything. It's like they don't remember anything. It's like it's like it didn't even happen. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm in this all by myself, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this by myself. And I says, here's your, and he goes, well, where did you get the water? Like, this isn't purified. This is not good water. How? Oh, it's good water. I'm asking him, I gave you water. That's water in the raw form. And he says, well, I guess, now we know it's not in the correct form. We'll do it ourselves. Can we have some more? So I went to the back spigot, and I poured the water out, and you would have thought I was just, oh my God, it comes out of your houses? Yeah, any house on this street, you can pour it out the back. It runs, we take showers in it. And it was like, we can go to any house and just pull this knob, and it comes out. And they were just fascinated by that. And I said, yes, you can do that. So they go, okay. Yeah, they take the water. They took it back. They were from a mom's house that was off to the side by this one oak tree way in the back, And that was around the time that there was that train that was going to Cuba. Around about that time, I remember it was around that time that the general was in the kitchen. The one when John F. Kennedy was sending troops down, we knew there was something going up because there was trains constantly coming down the tracks.
Go down to Miami and
they were going
Key
to Cuba, and so we didn't think anything of it. Another train coming down the track, because they usually come at a special interval, and we know we're going to be woken up by a train. You get used to it when you live there by the tracks. You sleep right through it. But this was more than normal, and we noticed it because of what was going on at that time.
So this was Cuban Missile Crisis time?
Yeah, around that time.
60...
I don't know.
62?
I don't know. I just know it was around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was around that time. So we're like, oh, okay. So they, he came back, he taught me, he says, if you don't want them to read you, he says, you've got to build he says, for you, he says, just pretend like you're building a brick wall. Keep thinking you're building a brick wall.
Read your mind.
Yeah, so if you don't want them to read your mind, he says, I'll train you. He says, what you do is you constantly think that you're building a brick wall. And when they try to read it, you're building a brick wall. That's all you're doing. You're building a brick wall. They can't read you. I'm building a brick wall. As long as you're constantly trying to build a brick wall.
So then they left again?
They left. I never saw them after that.
And nobody else remembers this, obviously.
I don't know. You can ask them. You can ask Tommy and Timmy. That's Tommy and Timmy, and we were out back playing. That's all I can tell you, because it's like I don't know what to tell you. That's all I got. But then later on, when I got older, I started piecing stuff together. I'm going, what the hell is ionized water? And I go, I didn't even know what ionized water was back then. Then I realized, oh, am I not dreaming? Was this not a dream at all? I didn't know what ionized water was. How the hell was I supposed to know that age?
Did you think it was a dream when you were younger?
Yeah, I felt like it was just one of the many dreams that me and Tina had that were very similar. Tina and I would dream the same thing over and over, and she goes, I had the weirdest dream. I said, so did I. She goes, well, what did you dream about? I go, this, and she goes, and then this happened. I go, yeah, and she would go, that's weird.
So was Tina with you that day?
I remember Tina remembering about the red eyes.
Okay.
You can ask Tina about the red eyes and stuff like that, and then it'll come back to her. That period.
Well, thank you. That's interesting stuff. What else you got?
What else I got?
Give me a story that's outside the realms of normality. That's a little bit freaky and just upsetting. You can tell me about why don't you tell me about Reagan?
Reagan? Oh.
So start with because I remember I had a dream too.
Oh, the horses, yes.
So start with the horse dream, and then go on to what happened when he was shot. But let's go and start with me first.
I used to have premonitions, and I would see things before they would happen. And my uncle would use me to win horse races, and I would get free dresses out of it when we went up north. So, and that was before, it was very prominent before I was 18. After I turned 18 and I had you, it started going away, I noticed. And the police department used to use me to touch things. Yeah, was it Richard Adams was a CIA ex-agent, and he was astounded by it. He was like tranced by it. You know,
and he worked for the police department sometimes, or?
No, he worked for the police department, and he was with ex-CIA, and he would have to leave, and he would leave me in charge of the guys while he was gone. It was just one of those things.
And you worked there as what?
I worked there as a temporary for my friend from school, because she hired me for a temp because I could type really fast, and she could trust me, you know. So she goes, "Okay, I trust you." So she vouched for me. And Richard and I had met several times before. He just doesn't remember it, which is so good because I'm really good with faces. Once I make them, I don't forget them too often. I might forget their names, but I don't forget a face. Dad's the opposite. He remembers it really well, people. So she hired me for part-time. I ended up working for her. She got pregnant, and then of course I had to take over for a while.
Okay, so this happened when you took over?
Yeah, I was working at CID, and then I ended up in internal affairs.
Hey, hold on. What are you doing? I'm taping one.